Before we get started today, I want you to imagine something for just a moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling steady, confident, and completely in control of every single step you take throughout your entire day. Now, let me ask you something that I genuinely want you to think about. When was the last time you walked across a room without holding on to something, without looking down at your feet, without that tiny little whisper of fear in the back of your mind telling you to be careful, telling you to slow down, warning you that one wrong move could change everything? If you are over the age of 70, that whisper is something you probably know very well. And today, I am here to tell you that whisper does not have to be your reality anymore. My name is Dr. Mark Official, and over the course of the next little while together, I want to share something with you that has genuinely transformed the lives of thousands of older adults across this country and around the world. Something so remarkably simple that when most people hear it for the first time, they actually laugh a little. They say, "That is it? That is really all there is to it." And I smile every single time, because yes, that is really it. Simple works. Simple is sustainable. And simple, when done consistently and done correctly, absolutely saves lives. Let us talk about falls for a moment, because I think we need to be honest about this topic. Falls are not just a minor inconvenience for people over 70. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury-related death in older adults. Every single year, millions of people in this age group experience a fall. Many of those falls result in broken bones, particularly hip fractures, which are devastating. Many result in head injuries. Many result in a loss of independence that the person never fully recovers from. And perhaps most heartbreakingly of all, many of those falls result in a psychological wound that never quite heals. That wound is fear, the fear of falling again. And that fear causes people to move less, to stay home more, to stop doing the activities they love. And that withdrawal from life actually makes the problem significantly worse over time. So we have this terrible cycle that so many older adults find themselves trapped inside. They fall. They become afraid of falling again. They stop moving as much. Their muscles weaken further. Their balance deteriorates more. And then they fall again. Round and round it goes, stealing years, stealing joy, stealing independence from people who deserve so much better. I have been working in the field of functional medicine and geriatric health for many years now, and I can tell you with complete certainty that this cycle can be broken. It can be interrupted, it can be reversed, and the tool that interrupts it is not a medication. It is not an expensive piece of equipment. It is not some complicated program that requires a personal trainer or a gym membership or anything of the sort. It is one simple exercise that anyone can do, that costs absolutely nothing, that takes only a few minutes each day, and that has the scientific backing to prove it actually works. Before I tell you exactly what this exercise is and precisely how to do it, I want you to understand why falls happen in the first place, because I think that knowledge is going to make everything else I share with you land so much more powerfully. When we are young, balance feels effortless. We do not think about it. We do not practice it. We just have it. But the reason we have it is because our bodies are constantly doing an enormous amount of work behind the scenes. Your balance system is actually a beautiful collaboration between three different systems in your body working together in harmony. First, there is your visual system, your eyes, which give you information about where you are in space relative to everything around you. Second, there is your vestibular system, located deep inside your inner ear, which detects movement and changes in your head position and sends signals to your brain about which direction is up, which direction is down, whether you are tilting, whether you are accelerating or decelerating. And third, there is your proprioceptive system, which is a network of sensors located throughout your muscles, your joints, and your skin that constantly sends feedback to your brain about where every single part of your body is positioned at any given moment. Now here is what happens as we age. All three of these systems begin to decline. Our vision changes, our inner ear function diminishes, and our proprioception, that remarkable internal sensing system, becomes significantly less accurate. Add to that the natural loss of muscle mass that occurs with aging, a process called sarcopenia, and the weakening of the small stabilizing muscles around our ankles, knees, and hips. And you can begin to understand why balance becomes such a challenge as the years go by. But here is the truly wonderful news, and this is the part I really want you to hear clearly. These systems are not fixed. They are not permanently set at whatever level they happen to be at right now. They are trainable. Your brain has an extraordinary capacity called neuroplasticity, which essentially means it can rewire itself, it can build new pathways, it can improve its function with the right kind of practice. Your muscles can be strengthened at any age. Your proprioceptive system can be retrained. your vestibular system can be challenged and improved. The research on this is absolutely clear. People in their 70s, their 80s, and even their 90s can meaningfully improve their balance and significantly reduce their risk of falling. And they can do it with something as straightforward as what I am about to describe to you. The exercise is called single leg standing, and it is exactly what it sounds like. You stand on one leg. That is the foundation of it. But the way you do it, the progression you follow, and the consistency with which you practice it is what makes it genuinely transformative rather than just a temporary distraction. Here is how you begin. Find yourself a sturdy chair, a kitchen counter, or any solid surface you can hold on to if you need to. Stand behind it or beside it, somewhere you can reach out and grab it in an instant if your balance wavers. Begin with both feet on the ground. Take a deep breath, feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the way your weight is distributed. Now slowly, with control, lift one foot off the ground. Just an inch or two is completely fine in the beginning. You do not need to hold a dramatic pose. You simply need to shift your weight entirely onto one leg and hold it there. Start with 10 seconds, just 10. Then place your foot back down. Pause, breathe, and then lift the other foot. 10 seconds on that side, and you are done. That is your starting point. Now I can already hear some of you thinking, that sounds too easy. That cannot possibly make a difference. And I want to address that directly. For some of you, standing on one leg for 10 seconds with a chair nearby will feel completely manageable. But for a surprising number of people over 70, it will not. Research has consistently shown that many older adults cannot balance on a single leg for more than 5 or 6 seconds without significant difficulty. And more importantly, the ability to hold a single leg stance is one of the strongest predictors of fall risk that we have in medicine. Studies have shown that people who cannot hold a single leg balance for 10 seconds have a significantly higher risk of falls and fall-related injuries. So even if 10 seconds feels easy, what we are building toward matters enormously. As you practice this every single day, which is what I want you to commit to, you will notice something happening. Those 10 seconds will start to feel easy. You will be able to hold the position longer without feeling wobbly. When that happens, you progress. You hold for 15 seconds, then 20, then 30. Once you can comfortably hold for 30 seconds on each side with your eyes open, you introduce the next progression, and this is where things get really interesting. You close your eyes. I know, it sounds simple, but the moment you close your eyes while standing on one leg, you remove your visual system from the equation entirely. Now your vestibular system and your proprioceptive system have to work much harder because they are no longer getting that extra input from your eyes. Your brain has to rely more heavily on the information coming from your muscles and your inner ear, and by doing so, it gets a much more intense workout. It starts building stronger pathways. It gets better at processing balance signals more quickly. And that improvement translates directly into better balance during the real moments of your daily life. When you step off a curb, when you reach for something on a high shelf, when you turn quickly to answer someone who just called your name. There is a third progression as well, for those of you who are ready for it a bit further down the road. Instead of standing on a hard floor, you stand on a folded towel, a pillow, or a balance pad. This unstable surface further challenges your proprioceptive system because the sensors in your feet and ankles have to work even harder to make sense of what is happening beneath you. This is powerful training. This is the kind of training that genuinely rebuilds the foundation of your balance system from the ground up. Now I want to talk about frequency, because this is where most people go wrong when they try to address their balance. They do it once, they try it twice, they do it a few times during a week when they remember, and then they forget about it for 2 weeks, and then they try again, and they wonder why they are not seeing results. Balance training, like all forms of physical training, requires consistency. Your nervous system needs repeated, regular practice to build new pathways. The good news is that the dose required is remarkably small. We are talking about 5 minutes a day. That is it. 5 minutes of single-leg standing practice each day split between both sides and all the progressions appropriate to your current level is sufficient to produce meaningful improvements in balance over the course of weeks and months. The best time to do it is whenever you can make it a habit. Many people attach it to something they already do every single day. They do it while they are brushing their teeth in the morning, holding onto the sink if they need to. They do it while they are waiting for their morning coffee to brew. They do it during television commercials. It does not matter when. What matters is that it happens every day without fail, because that regularity is exactly what teaches your nervous system to become better at the task. I also want to talk about footwear for a moment, because it is one of the most overlooked contributors to fall risk and it costs nothing to address. Doing your single-leg standing exercise barefoot or in thin-soled socks dramatically increases the quality of the proprioceptive input your brain receives. When you have thick cushioned soles between your foot and the ground, you are essentially muffling the signal. You are reducing the amount of sensory information your nervous system can use to make balance corrections. Practicing barefoot allows the thousands of sensory receptors in the soles of your feet to do their job properly. Over time, this makes a real difference. I also want to address something that comes up in almost every conversation I have on this topic, which is the question of strength. Balance and strength are not the same thing, but they are deeply connected. The small stabilizing muscles around your ankles, the muscles of your calves, your shins, the muscles that run along the sides of your hips, these are critical for balance. And single-leg standing actually does work these muscles. Every tiny wobble correction your body makes while you are holding that pose is a muscular contraction. Your body is essentially doing dozens of micro-exercises every second you hold that position. Over time, those muscles become stronger, those corrections become faster, and your overall stability improves significantly. But I also want to encourage you to look at your overall activity level. Walking is wonderful. Swimming is wonderful. Gentle yoga and tai chi, which have both been extensively studied for fall prevention, are wonderful. None of these things replace your daily single-leg standing practice, but they complement it beautifully. The more you move, the more signals you send to your nervous system that balance matters, that strength matters, that coordination matters, and your nervous system responds to those signals. Now, I want to speak directly to those of you who have already had a fall. Because if you have fallen before, you know the fear I described earlier. You know that feeling of the floor coming up to meet you when you were not expecting it. You know the embarrassment, the pain, the shock, and you may have developed a habit of holding on to walls, of shuffling rather than lifting your feet, of sitting down much more than you used to. I want you to know that your experience is completely understandable and completely valid. And I also want you to know that practice of this exercise, done safely with support nearby, is one of the most powerful things you can do to begin rebuilding your confidence along with your physical balance. The two go together. As your balance physically improves, your confidence grows. As your confidence grows, you move more freely. As you move more freely, your balance continues to improve. That is the positive cycle we are working to create, and it begins with one simple exercise, practice daily, starting today. I have seen this work. I have seen it work in people who were convinced they were beyond help. I have seen it work in people who had been told by well-meaning family members to simply be careful and hold on to things. I have seen it work in people who were so afraid of falling that they had stopped going outside. And watching those people regain their confidence, regain their independence, regain their ability to walk into a room without fear is genuinely one of the most rewarding things I have experienced in my entire career. You are not too old for this. Your nervous system is not too old for this. Your muscles are not too old for this. The body you live in right now is capable of improvement. That is not wishful thinking. That is established science, backed by decades of research and thousands of individual stories of people just like you who decided to take this seriously and who saw real results. So here is what I am asking you to do. Starting today, starting this very day, find your sturdy surface, stand up tall with your feet together, take a breath, and lift one foot off the ground. Hold it for as long as you comfortably can. Put it down. Lift the other foot. Do the same. Do that 3 times on each side, once in the morning and once in the evening if you can manage it. Write it on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror. Tell a friend or a family member about it so they can ask you whether you did it. Make it a non-negotiable part of your day, as automatic and as unquestioned as eating your breakfast or drinking your water. Because the truth is, staying on your feet is not just about avoiding injury. It is about staying in your life. It is about continuing to take walks in the neighborhood you love. It is about playing with your grandchildren on the floor without worrying about how you will get back up. It is about traveling and dancing and gardening and cooking and laughing and living with the full freedom and confidence that you have absolutely earned and that you absolutely deserve. You did not come this far to spend your days sitting on the sidelines out of fear. You came this far because you are strong, because you are resilient, because you keep showing up even when things are difficult. And this is one more small thing you can add to your daily life that will pay dividends in freedom, in confidence, in safety, and in pure quality of life for every year ahead of you, one leg at a time. Starting today, you have got this completely. Thank you so very much for being here and for giving me your time and your attention this morning. Now, let us go practice. Thank you for watching Dr. Mark Official. I'm Dr. Mark, and I hope this helped you take one more step toward better health and balance. Stay safe, stay active, and I'll see you in the next video.